You're watching Mavericks Today by Chat Sports. I am Harrison Graham, back with another video here on the channel. And on today's show, we've got a mailbag for you guys. A lot of you guys submitted some questions. Appreciate everybody that did. If we didn't get to your question, we'll try to answer it on a future show. We'll also bring in producer Jeffrey Cooperstein in on this video. From Crane, Maine, how hot is Jason Kidd's seat going into next season? Coop, I'll let you dive in first here.
It's pretty warm. It's not cold, that's for sure. I think if the Mavs have a repeat of last year, which was, I think, the biggest failure in the Mark Cuban era to this point, if they miss the playoffs again with Luka Doncic, presumably Kyrie Irving, I think Kidd probably loses his job. So I think he's kind of coaching for himself this year and his future as a coach because this is his third stop.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, right? Like, a lot of the concerns we had about the Kidd hire kind of came true in year two, right? Like year one, it was kind of the honeymoon phase. Things came together. Luka took another step forward. The role players, a lot of them all had career years.
Yeah.
And that wasn't the case this year, right? Like Bullock took a step back. Finney Smith before the trade wasn't playing as well this year. And then it just kind of fell apart. And the issues that we had been worried about when they hired him was, can he run a rotation? That was a problem all year. He could not figure out the rotation for this team. So big offseason ahead to retool the roster, but then ultimately it's going to be on J. Kidd next season. And I'm with you, Coop. I would say if this team doesn't make the playoffs and probably win a series, I mean, his seat's going to be very hot at that point, if not be fired after next season.
It felt like in the first season, everything that went right, and everything in this season that could have gone wrong went wrong.
Yeah.
So they were the tale of two seasons, and I think that he has a lot to answer for, especially this offseason and in the beginning of next season. The Mavs have to be more consistent on defense, and they have to be more consistent in fourth quarters finishing.
Yeah, and look, the Luka clock has started. Like another really bad season here, that the trade buzz is going to heat up because I think at some point he could look to greener pastures. How would you scale Jason Kidd's hot seat right now from 1 to 10? I'd go like a 7. Like, he's not in jeopardy, I would say, for like a midseason firing next year. But I do agree with Coop. If this is not a playoff team a year from now, I do think the Mavs will be looking for a new head coach. I'll give it a 7 on a scale of 1 to 10. Let us know what you guys think. Let's go to Boomer Mav. Who is your dream star pairing for Luka Doncic? Well, let me first get out of the way. While it's not a dream, I mean, they're going to try to bring back Kyrie Irving, and I think they have a good chance of doing so. But a name we've talked about before, Coop, and maybe it's a number 3 guy in this scenario, is maybe Paul George. If the Clippers lose early in the playoffs here, maybe they look to retool things because he's hurt in this series. Maybe LA would say, you know what, he's getting older. He's not a reliable number 2 next to Kawhi. We're going to shop him. And with his 3-and-D ability and playmaking, I think he would be a pretty good fit here.
Yeah, Paul George next to Luka would be awesome. It's also a matter of what it would cost to get him because the Mavs would obviously have to trade for him. So for starters, they need to get some luck in the lottery, which they never get, and retain their pick. I would love Paul George in Dallas, but the injuries do concern me. I'm going to throw a wild card here at you. It's very unlikely as we're talking about the draft. My dream pairing? Give me Victor. I think Victor's my dream pairing for Luka.
I think that's true for every team in the lottery.
Absolutely. But, I mean, Victor protecting the rim, he's equally as good on offense. Luka wouldn't have to worry about guarding like he kind of did this year. They would conserve more energy on that end, and Luka would be able to be more aggressive on offense. Victor is my dream.
Just on that topic, let's just say the Mavs get the number 2 pick. Scoot or Brandon Miller?
Oh, I'm taking Brandon Miller for sure because
I think fit-wise, he probably fits better.
It's fit-wise because Brandon Miller plays the 3-4. You re-sign Kyrie, and there you have a franchise cornerstone as well on a rookie deal. So I'm taking Miller if they get number 2.
Man, it's going to be interesting to see what happens in the draft lottery. We, of course, will have it covered here. Shout them out. Name a player you want the Mavs to get this offseason, whether it's in the draft, in free agency, trade, whatever. Name a player that you would like to see the Dallas Mavericks get. Join the family here at Mavericks Today. We told you we'd have you covered for the draft lottery, which I believe is next month sometime.
May 15th, I
think? May 15th. Yep. So hopefully the Mavs keep their pick, and if they do, we will break that down. And if they don't, we will.
If the Mavs move up in the lottery, I can guarantee a video that evening.
We will be partying.
Guaranteed.
And if they fall outside the top 10, we might do a video where Coop and I just cry.
We just be in shambles.
Absolute shambles. We give you our honest emotions on every single video, so subscribe to the channel for more content. Okay, let's go to Juke Jam 47. Jaden Hardy had a promising rookie year. What do you think his ceiling is? you never want to put a ceiling on someone. I think a realistic role for him is like a more explosive Emmanuel Quickly, but a ceiling can he be like a 20-point scorer as a starter? I think he could.
I think my NBA comp for him is Jordan Clarkson. I think he's a really good sixth man, can also start as well. He can score in volume, maybe not as crazy efficient as you'd like, but he can get in the game and provide an instant spark. He's not going to give you much defense, but I think that he can give legit NBA scoring to a contending team. So that's kind of where I lie. I think he's more of a six-man type, but can start if he needs to.
Yeah, I think if the Mavs are contending in the next couple of years, he's ideally like your third guard. Like he comes in, plays 25 minutes a game, and gives you, 15 to 18 points. Like I think he's capable of that. And I would say he shot the ball better from three as a rookie than I think people thought he would.
Yeah, I didn't expect him to shoot that well from three either, but I think you made a really good point. If Luka and Kyrie are your first two guards and he's your third off the bench,
I think that works.
I think you're living pretty well there.
Yeah, and we talked about that all last offseason, Coop, you need that third guard. Well, you might have that. Like Hardy might actually be that guy. So
yeah, and obviously he wasn't ready to play that role at the beginning of this year, and they probably did need someone, as it turned out. But sure. I think going forward, he can be that guy. He has a better handle than I thought as well.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's an offense initiator where he's going to be the one making the first pass to get the offense in motion, but he's someone that you can just kind of plug in there at the one or the two and just go.
Yeah, and that's critical because you got to fill wing and big this offseason. You got to get better defensively in those areas. All right, let's go to Lauren's Mike. Harry and Coop, what is the biggest challenge facing Luka this offseason?
Sorry, my mic came off.
I think the biggest challenge for Luka is probably just like being able to mentally reset, because last year he played so much basketball, conference finals, Slovenia. I think that was an underrated part to me of them not making the playoffs, because I just didn't think they were going to go on a run. And if that's the case, I'd rather get out early. Yes, the draft pick was part of it, but take some time off, man. I mean, this guy has been a basketball-aholic the last 24 months, going back to the Olympics a couple of years ago. I just think that him hitting the reset button, and then when he does get back, commit to getting into great shape. I thought he did a better job of that last year, but it didn't really maintain throughout the season. I think that's the next step for him, Luka, for Luka, is just kind of being more mature professionally, and that's taking care of your body, being a little bit better of a leader. I think if he can do those things, this guy can win MVPs and carry this team to deep playoff runs if the right pieces are around him, of course. I think those are some next steps for him. We got to remember he's still, 24? Yeah. I don't think he's hit his prime yet at all. So I think he's just got to take some time off, reset, and then really work on maturing both physically and as a leader as well.
Yeah, and the way COVID messed up the NBA schedule, he really hasn't had a true offseason since 2019. So this will be the first legit offseason he's going to get. He'll take some time off. He is going to play for Slovenia in the FIBA World Championships. I believe those start in the middle of August. So he'll have some time off. He'll head back to Slovenia in July and start training camp there. So hopefully he comes into Mavericks training camp in shape, ready to go. Hopefully he's a little angry at how things happened last year, and we see a new and improved Luka.
Maybe another challenge is helping convince Kyrie Say. I mean, I don't know how much he'll take on in that regard, but I think he should take some.
Luka has not shown a willingness to want to recruit players to Dallas yet. I think if you're to be a superstar of a franchise and a cornerstone, you gotta go out there and say, hey, I want to play with you. Come here, play with me.
Yeah, I agree with that. Show Luka some love. Type 77. It was a frustrating year for the boys, but he still had a great season. So let's have his back. Type 77 in the comments. We'll wrap things up with Dan Peterson. Is there any update on that guy from the Philippines y'all mentioned before? I'm going to assume you're talking about Kai Sotto, who's a bit of a legend here at Chat Sports. There actually is a bit of an update, Coop. The NBL season ended, but he's playing in Japan right now and is apparently playing pretty well. Listen, if you want to bring him over for some summer league and see if he can compete for a two-way, I wouldn't say no.
Look, the Mavs won, 38 games this year, 39 games?
They're searching for answers.
They're searching for anything right now. The summer league is a place where you look for experiments and you find guys diamonds in the rough. Kai could be one of those guys. I mean, he has elite NBA size. I'm not sure if the skills are there, but might as well give it a try.
I actually think he's got decent offensive skill. He would just get torched defensively.
And let's face it, the Mavs have taken bigger risks. I mean, Satnam Singh in the second round.
That's kind of what I'm saying. Like, if you're Mark Cuban, you just put him on a two-way, you're going to get millions of fans from the Philippines.
They've taken more risk than Kai Sotto. So
exactly.
Why not is where I stand.
Hey, bring him over. We'll do some summer league content. Let's make it happen. Kai. Let's get Kai to Dallas. Get it trending here on the channel. All right, that's going to do it for today's show. Appreciate Coop for hopping on with us. I am Harrison Graham. Hit that subscribe button. We'll hit you guys with another video very soon.